Hi everyone, this is Megan Mattioni with Quality Matters Monterey, and I'm going to share with you some health and safety guidelines for those of you who are preparing to reopen your center or family childcare site. Now, things are rapidly changing. Information's out there, and we are constantly being inundated with more and more guidelines and requirements to combat COVID-19. So please note that the information I'm about to share is as current as May 1st, 2020. The most important thing you can do right now is to know the facts, keeping yourself as updated as possible with the health and safety guidelines that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention are putting out, also known as CDC. We're going to visit one of their web pages right now, so I can show you how to navigate their website and keep yourself, your staff, and your families informed. So this is CDC's guidance for childcare programs that remain open. It's their supplemental guidance sheet that was released or updated on April 21st, 2020. Now, the great thing about their website is you can actually translate it into various languages. So just by clicking other languages, you get a drop-down box and you have your choice of Spanish, Japanese, Vietnamese, even Korean, and other languages. I'm going to go ahead and click on Spanish. And as you can see, it completely translates the entire page. Now, if this is something you would like to share with your staff or maybe print it out and post it for families, you can print the page and print it directly to your printer, or you could even save it as a PDF and email it out in a newsletter. And by doing the PDF form, you actually can keep the links within the document live. So that means anyone who opens up the PDF, if they want to visit one of the highlighted blue links that are in there, it will take them directly to that particular page. I'm going to go back to English right now. And here it gives you just a summary of the information that's available on this page, and then goes into more detail as you go down into those areas. It's a great resource. I'm going to go ahead and take us back to the PowerPoint, but please note that this website is extremely informative and it's constantly being updated as information changes for all of us. So let's go back. We're going to, excuse me. Another great resource out there is the California Department of Education's Early Learning and Care Division. So they also have their own COVID-19 webpage with lots and lots of resources. Again, it's very important to keep yourself updated and informed of all these changes so that you can share the information with your staff as well as families. So the CDC puts out management bulletins almost weekly in reference to various topics and concerns that we are all having in terms of our work and how to support our families and children. So these management bulletins are here. I'll go ahead and click on one so you get an idea. Management Bulletin 20-06 was released in April. This expires June 30th, and it's in regards to emergency childcare services for essential workers and at-risk populations. This particular management bulletin goes into detail about who can receive care at this time and how they can go about doing that. So again, all California residents are required to stay home unless they are considered essential workers. Now, if your families aren't sure if they are considered essential workers, right here, this page does have a list of all the different fields who are considered essential at this time. So any of your families that fall within these categories are allowed to receive services. Again, this can be reached by going to the Management Bulletin 2006. Okay. I'm going to take us back to our PowerPoint right now. If you are reopening and you are serving families of who are essential workers, you want them to fill out a self-certification form. This basically is a contract for the families to fill, saying that they do fall in these 3 different categories and are allowed to receive services. So if a family is seeking out care for their children, they have to either be of an at-risk population. This is children who are receiving childcare protective services, children who are experiencing homelessness or are experiencing domestic violence. Those are considered at-risk population, and they get first priority in receiving emergency childcare. Second priority is essential workers. And again, we showed you that list, so it's important for families to fill this out and identify themselves as essential workers. And third, parents or children with disabilities or special healthcare needs are also allowed to attend emergency childcare sites at this time. Be sure that your families fill this out. It's really important to have it on file. The state will, if they do a review of some sort, they will ask you for these documents. Okay. So some of the main guidelines to follow right now are listed here. I'm going to go over this list and then we'll dive into each of these in a little bit more detail as we move on. First, guidance is to implement the social and physical distancing strategies, as well as maintain the ratios that CDC and the CDE have put out. Again, we'll go into this in a little more detail in a second. It's very important to up your cleaning and disinfecting routines of the virus. The coronavirus particles can live on surfaces for up to 72 hours. That's 3 days. In addition, they've now learned that particles that just come out of your mouth that are not visible to the naked eye, those particles can actually live in the air for up to 3 hours. So in addition to upping your disinfecting game, it's also important to keep your areas well ventilated and even allow children more time to be outside. Modifying drop-off and pickup procedures. So we really need families to understand these guidances and follow them accordingly to keep everyone safe, and we'll go into more detail in a second. It's also important to do health and wellness screenings prior to children being allowed into the building. So designating one of your educators to conduct these. CDC now recommends, and actually Monterey County has as well, that face coverings be worn by people who are even with the social distancing. Children 2 and older can wear face coverings. Please do not put face coverings on children under 2. And lastly, plan ahead and create a good substitute pool for yourself. So children can get sick, but so can educators, and it's important to have a plan B ready and people that you can trust who can step in if needed. So let's look a little more into physical distancing and what the ratios are. So the 6 feet of separation is very important. Again, the virus can linger in the air. Particles can linger in the air for up to 3 hours. So if we keep at least 6 feet of separation, they know that those particles can't really travel that far. So ways that you can do that in the classroom is designating specific play areas for children. Um, you can mark off areas using furniture, using masking tape on the floor, carpet squares. Um, no sharing of toys is also important in terms of keeping that physical distancing. So germs can, if a child sneezes on something or they rub their nose and then touch a toy, again, those germs can live on surfaces for up to 3 days. So it's really important that children are not sharing toys at this time. You can create individual little art kits or individual Lego kits. So maybe having a little bag or a box that so each child has their own scissors, their own tape, markers, pens, etc. Having children stay in one area with various little toys that can be cleaned easily will really help you in supporting the physical distancing rules. Also, giving children a lot of free time. This isn't the time to follow a strict curriculum and try to implement a lot of small group activities or even group time. It's important to just let children play, engage with them still, ask them questions about their play, be there as a support person for them, but try not to make them do small activities or group activities where they're going to have to be tempted to interact with each other at a close distance. Also, extending outside playtime is a great way to allow children to move and get their wiggles out, but you're going to have a lot of fresh air and less likely for any sort of particles in the air to stay stagnant. We're lucky here that in Monterey that we have such great weather. You can bring a lot of your your inside activities or play items outside and really think about how you can create that outdoor classroom right at this time. Now, in terms of ratio, they are recommending that group sizes be no more than 10. That's actually a mandated rule right now. So in each room, in each classroom, you should have no more than 10 children so that you can enforce the social or physical distancing rules. And as you can see, the ratio is on this chart as well. For infants, they want at least a 1-to-4 ratio. Toddlers 1-to-6, and preschoolers 1-to-10. Now, again, if you have a designated support staff with you or a designated team, we are going to need time, to take breaks or if you have extended programs to allow the teachers to work their shift and change shifts. So just be mindful of your staffing and make sure that you have the same staff with the same group of children. Cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting is so important right now. Again, like I said, the virus can live on surfaces for up to 72 hours. If you're cleaning hard surfaces, including toys, be sure to wear disposable gloves so that you are not infecting yourself with any sort of virus that might be on the surfaces. Use paper towels And first clean using soap and water prior to disinfecting. So that way that you're really cleaning the surfaces well, and the disinfectant is able to penetrate through any other leftover particles or germs. Now the EPA has a really great registered disinfectant website. I'm going to click here. You can actually find out if the disinfectant you're currently using is appropriate for coronavirus. I'm going to scroll down here to this wonderful chart they have here. So if you press search other options, I can put a product name in this box. I'll just write Lysol as an example and press search. And it will give me all the EPA registered Lysol products. It tells me what their active ingredient is, the name of the product, and what viruses it kills, and how long you have to have it on a surface before your surface is fully disinfected. Right here, I'll just jump down to the Lysol brand all-purpose cleaner. This particular product does kill the human coronavirus, and it only takes 2 minutes for the contact time. So it takes 2 minutes for this product to disinfect. And what that means is you're going to have to spray the chemicals on the table and let it sit for 2 minutes. So please be sure to read the directions on the back of the bottle so that you're fully following correctly the disinfectant procedure. I'm going to go back to our website. If you don't have access to store disinfectants, you can always make a bleach solution. Bleach is wonderful. It's easier to access, and it's cheaper than buying a lot of these disinfectants. 5 tablespoons or a third cup of bleach per gallon of water in a spray bottle can do wonders. Now, you do want to have a fresh bottle of bleach solution every day. So be mindful of how much you're making based on how many surfaces you have to clean. The great thing about bleach, it only takes 2 minutes to disinfect. So you spray it on after you've washed your table with soap and water, spray the disinfectant on, let it sit 2 minutes, and it's fully there. Your surface is fully disinfected. You can also spray toys with this or let them soak, and toys soak in a bleach solution in a big bucket for 2 minutes, and it's disinfected. Now, what do we do about soft porous surfaces? Say your dramatic play clothing, or even blankets. You're going to want to wash those daily in the warmest water setting possible for that particular fabric, and make sure you dry it completely. Also, mats. So vinyl mats, sleeping mats, or diaper mats. You could go ahead and spray with a bleach solution. However, one thing I do want to point out is if your diapering mat has embroidery, like an embroidery design on it, germs can actually live on that thread. So you want to make sure that if you're using mats, vinyl mats, that the material is just vinyl. It has no sort of embroidered design with thread, because that can harbor germs or viruses in it. Greeting and departing. We had mentioned this before. It's really important to do that health and wellness check daily on children prior to their parents leaving them in your care. You want to be able to visually scan, make sure that their noses aren't running, their eyes aren't red or watery, and also take their temperature. Now, the educator who is conducting the health and wellness check, please wear a mask while doing so, and make sure that you sanitize the thermometer. Preferably you're using a head scanner thermometer. Please do wipe that down prior to using it on children. You want to make sure it's always clean. Also, it's recommended that the same parent or caregiver drops off the child and picks them up. Designating one parent or caregiver will cut down on the amount of germs or interactions just in general that are coming into the building. So the less number of people, the less number of opportunities for germs and various viruses to come in. Set your sign-in and outstation outside of your building. Outside will allow, again, less people inside. So we're limiting the number of people to limit the number of germs coming into the building. When you have your sign-in and outstation outside, think about how many people are using your pens. Do you want to have more pens out, or possibly even set up a sanitizing wipe station so that pens can be wiped down prior to them being shared between parents, or even ask your parents to bring their own pen to do the signing in. Parents and children should wash their hands prior to entering the building. You may want to just greet parents outside and bring the children in, but still, parents and children should be washing their hands 20 seconds with warm water, soap. Some sites are renting portable sinks that they're putting outside their buildings so that parents and children have the capabilities of washing prior to entering the building. That's up to you. It's your call, it's your business. Hand sanitizer stations are another option, setting those up so that they can be accessed readily. However, keep them out of children's reach. Hand sanitizer should not be used on children 2 and under because of their skin is a little more sensitive. Hand sanitizer should be at least 80% alcohol as well. And when you're using soap, please make sure you avoid antibacterial soap. That is a soap that is not meant to be used with children. So we've gone through a lot of different guidelines today, and now it's time for you to brainstorm a plan that works for your site and your staff. Things to be considered is how can you switch up your environment in order to meet these guidelines? How can you switch up mealtime? I know we all really enjoy family style mealtime, but how can you do that while following social distancing guidelines? Also, toileting and diapering, how can you handle that, making sure that you're following strict disinfectant procedures, as well as maintaining supervision of hand washing? And playtime. How can you maximize playtime for children so that they feel happy and safe in your care and are having fun, but also are following the social distancing guidelines? There's lots of resources out there, great websites to learn how to make mask coverings. This particular website has patterns for children. Right here is the supplemental guidance link for you, the one I shared in the beginning from CDC. Here's some information on cleaning and disinfecting. Right here is a great sample schedule from Caring for Our Children. You could set up to meet the needs of your site. Here is the EPA list of disinfectants that I shared. And if you're looking for more webinars, you can go to Childcare Aware's upcoming and recorded webinars. Lots of good stuff on this site. Okay. That's it for today. I hope this was informative. Please know you can contact me anytime if you have any questions. We're here to serve. Thank you. Have a great day.